Yeah. All right. No. Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our online talk. It's a privilege to be here, to be invited to talk to you. My name is Dorcas Wankuru. I am the lead wellness architect at Dowan Human Library, an organization dedicated to creating safe spaces where people can talk honestly about life, about struggle, and about what it really means to be well. And today, Dove Rescue Hub Limited has invited me to talk to you about as part of your annual safety talk, and I am very grateful this 2026. Um, I am grateful because what I want to talk about today is something that is often left out of safety conversation, where we talk about fire exit, we talk about first aid kits, we talk about reporting accident or injuries or hazard. Where we talk about physical safety, and those things matters, I agree. But today I want us to talk about something about safety of something that you always carry with you every single day. Something you cannot leave at home, something you cannot switch off even if you want, and something you cannot replace: your mind. Mental wellness, for the next few minutes, I want us to explore what it really means, why it matters so much in the workplace, what warning signs to watch for, and most importantly, what we can all do about it, like from starting today. I promise you that I am not going to sit here and lecture you with complicated words. I am going to talk to you like a human being, because that is exactly who you are or what we are. And I can say what exactly I am. So let's begin. Look at that slide. This is not a made up numbers that I came up with. This come from WHO, it come from ILO, and these are the most respected bodies on global health and work. And that it states that 1 in 4 people globally will experience mental health condition at some point during the year. Now I want you to do something. Look around your room where you are for a moment. Statistically, 1 in every 4 people in that place you are is either struggling with their mental health, or recently they struggled with mental health, or will struggle before this year ends. That is not a small number. That is not a rare thing. That is the person sitting next to you, and again, that person might be you before the end of the year. 60% of employees, that is around 6 out of every 10 workers, they have experienced symptoms of mental challenges at work. And I mean, not outside the work, at work. And this will happen while they are trying to meet deadlines, or serving clients, answering emails, or when attending meetings. 60%. That is more than half of every workforce. It is carrying something invisible. And most of them have never told anyone at all. They just carry this burden inside them. They don't talk about it. But here is the good news. Buried inside all of this, workplaces that actively support mental wellness see productivity that is 3 times higher. Not a little better, but 3 times higher. Because when people feel safe, when they feel seen and they feel supported, they show up fully, they think clearly, they collaborate better, and they stay longer at that workplace. So mental wellness is not just a personal issue, it is a workplace issue, it is a safety issue, and it is absolutely a business issue. It touches everyone. Before we go any further, let us agree on what we are actually talking about when we say mental wellness. That is, we need to understand what is mental wellness. What I will start saying is that this is a lot of confusion, or I will say there is a lot of confusion around this topic. When people hear the words mental health, and like they immediately think of severe illness. They think of hospital, they think of medication, or someone who has completely broken down. And while those things are real and valid, I agree, mental wellness is so much broader than that. I would say mental wellness is not the absence of difficulty. No, it is not about being happy all the time or never having a bad day in the office or at home. Mental wellness is about your capacity, your ability to function, your ability to feel, your ability to connect and to recover, right? So let me walk you through what that looks like practically. I will start by giving point one. As you can see from the slides, that is thinking clearly and making good decision. When our mental wellness is strong, we can concentrate, we can solve problem easily, we can weigh options and make sound decision. But when you're under strain, under pressure, even a simple decision feel overwhelming. You staring at your screen for hours and cannot write a single email. You're just there, staring, typing, but you cannot get to an email or the thing that you want to do. The second thing is how we manage our emotion. That is things like stress, anxiety, frustration, sadness, and all these are normal human emotion. Okay? Tutaishi tu nazo. Mental wellness does not mean you will never feel them. It means you have enough capacity to feel them without being controlled by them. It means you can feel anxious before a presentation, but still stand and deliver it anyway, because your mental is fine. Another thing is building healthy relationship. Our relationship. What is your relationship with your colleagues at work? What are your relationship with managers, your family members, your sibling? Because these are deeply affected by our mental status. When we are well, we communicate better, we listen better, right? We solve conflict better. But when we are struggling, we can become withdrawn. We can be irritable easily or even disconnected from people around us. But how do you bounce back from setbacks? The resilience, right? Life will knock us down. Projects will fail. Business will fail. We will receive criticism. We will face loss one way or another in our lifetime. Okay? That is kind of normal. But mental wellness is what allows us to fall and get back up again. Not because we are not hurt, but because we have inner resources to draw on. And when we are mentally well, even ordinary work can feel meaningful. We understand our role very clearly. Rather, you are able to understand it clearly. We will feel like we are contributing to something. But when this wellness breaks down, work can feel pointless. It's like going through the motions without even really being present. So, mental wellness is not the absence of illness. It is the presence of well-being. Let me say it again. Mental wellness is not the absence of illness, but it is the presence of well-being. And I want that to sit with you, because many of us have been trained to believe that as long as we are not completely falling apart, then we are fine. But no, fine is not the same as well. And you, a worker here, an employee, you deserve more than just fine. Okay? Now that you have understood what mental wellness actually is. Let's talk about what happens when it starts to sleep. Because knowing the warning signs is one of the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves and for each other. The warning signs to watch for are like, let me say something first before we look at this slide. You do not need a medical degree to notice when something is going wrong, either to yourself or with someone you care about. You just need to be paying attention. You need to care enough to act. Okay? Warning signs of mental health challenges generally fall into like three categories. We have emotional, we have behavioral, and we have physical, and they often appear together. Let's start with the emotional warning signs. The first thing we often notice is a change in how someone feels or how we feel ourselves. The persistent sadness or hopelessness. This is not just a bad day, it's a heaviness that does not lift. A feeling that things are not working, things are not getting better, that the joy has gone out of everything. You totally become hopeless in life. Also, something sometimes we become irritated or easily, or moods. We usually, or you see this mood swing in these people. Maybe someone snapping at a colleague for a small thing, maybe feeling like everything is annoyance around them. One moment they're fine, the next we feel overwhelmed or they feel overwhelmed. And this one is like especially common in men who often express their depression through anger rather than tears, like women will do. Another emotional sign is feeling overwhelmed or completely numb. Everything feels like too much or nothing feels like anything at all. And both of them are concerning. Something else to look for is constant anxiety or worry. The restless, the churning feeling in the chest that does not go away, even when there is no obvious reason for it, where totally there is nothing to worry about, but your body and feeling are so much in worry, like there is something bad that is going to happen to you, but there is nothing really that is going to happen, but that is just a thing or a feeling that you usually have, or the anxiety that will come to these people. On behavioral warnings, here is when we start to see changes in someone's behavior, in their action or habit, okay? And one of them is withdraw from colleague and friend, where the person who used to join lunch conversation suddenly decided to eat alone, or the one who always greeted you now walks past you without a word. And isolation is one of the loudest silent warning signs that we can have. Another thing is increased absenteeism at work. Frequent sick days, late arrivals at work, early departures, where the body finds ways to avoid the environment that feel unsafe for them or overwhelming. I can talk of a visible drop in the work performance, like missing deadlines, making unusual errors, or having difficult concentrating on a task they used to do or to handle with ease, or even yourself, you used to do it just pop, but now it's become very difficult for you even to meet that deadline. Or they might increase usage of alcohol if they take alcohol, or if they don't, they can maybe start, or they can start taking other substances as well to cope with life, to cope with sleep, or to get through the day. This is a significant warning sign that should never be dismissed, no matter who you are, either as a boss or as an employee. And the last one, we'll talk about physical warning signs. And finally, what shows up in the body. Because the mind, the body are not separate. They are deeply connected. And that one of the things is a chronic fatigue, the low energy, And this is not the tired you feel after a long day. It is like a bone deep exhaustion that sleep does not fix, even if you sleep till you wake up exhausted. We can have, or someone can have a frequent headache, especially tension headache that seem to appear whenever stress rises. I can talk about changes in appetite or sleep, either not eating enough, or you're not overeating, or you're overeating, you know. Either you are sleeping too much and still feels exhausted, or maybe lying awake for hours despite being tired. Ile kujenga nyumba ukibomoa usiku, eh? As well, you can have an unexplained aches and pains like back pain, chest tightness, or stomach problem. All this because when your body carries this stress, will eventually find ways to express it physically. And that's when we begin to fall sick, like having these chronic diseases. And remember that you don't need to, like, sometimes this can happen to yourself. You don't need to go to the hospital always. Ask someone if at any time of the day or the week, someone asks you, or more than one person asks you this question the same week, that like, uko sawa? Like, Dorcas, uko sawa? Then jiteka mkutano. That means the body is speaking physically. It means your mind is done. Now it is happening. The outer you, it's showing signs that we are able to see, like your friends, you know, or your colleagues. Okay. But remember that you don't need to be a therapist, to know these things. You just need to notice and care, because by this time the body is showing, the behaviors are here, the characters are here. They're enough to tell you that this is not the person that I knew. This is not the person that I'm used for. So that does not need you to go for or to be a therapist. You just need to see and notice and care. So if you see these signs in yourself, pay attention. If you see them in a colleague, do not look away. Because a simple, genuine, are you okay, Dorcas? Are you okay, friend? I have noticed like you seem a bit different lately. That sentence can be a sentence that can change someone's life. Okay? So take that 1 minute. Know how they're doing. Know how that colleague is doing. Know how that friend of yours is doing. All right? Yeah, it's very touching. All right. Can we now think about the environment where many of us spend the majority of our active hours? The workplace. And what that workplace is doing to our mental wellness. But before we get deep into it, let me tell you something that I will want you to think about it after we are done with this session, because I have been given less minutes. So something that I just want you to think about after we are done. Like for those who have families, what time do you wake up to work in the morning? For those who work day shift, okay? Do you wake up at 4 a.m.? Do you wake up at 5 a.m. or at 6 a.m.? And what time do you come back in the evening? Do you know that that of your active hours in your whole life, you'll spend it, or you're spending it at your workplace? Do you go back home in your, or let me say this, you do go back home in your inactive hours when you're tired, when you just want to rest. And that means you spend time with those kids in your inactive mode, when even them, they just want to sleep. Think about it. Okay, we'll discuss about it next time. But what I want you to think is your whole life until you get to 60, if you'll retire at 60, is that your active hours, you'll give them to your employer. You're working hard from Monday to Saturday for that employer. You're also like on Sunday, your day is for your pastor, for Christian, for Muslim or whoever you religion you are. You spend that day for them. But when do you spend time for yourself as an individual? When time do you spend with your kids when you're active, without your phones, just having a conversation, just looking at one another without even saying a word? Think about it. That will be a discussion for our next online talk. I believe I will be invited. All right. So, what is weighing us down at work? Let us be honest. Work is one of the greatest sources of both meaning and stress in most of our lives. And very often the stresses are not dramatic. They are quite daily and accumulated pressure that we have simply learned to live with. Kuishi na shida na kuzoea shida. Until one day that we cannot do that anymore. The body will decide, no, I cannot do this anymore. Let me name some of these for you. And I am willing to bet that as I go through this list, you will recognize at least 2 or 3 from your experience. One is workload pressure. Too much to do and not enough time to do it. We live, vile si usema, mambo ni mengi, masaa ndio machache, right? Yeah, so we have like too much to do, but not enough time to do them. We live in a culture that celebrate business like busy, not biashara, like busy, like business, just being busy. Where being overwhelmed has become a badge of honor. Like ukisema sina kazi siko niko, and you're working but you know that like you have time for others. But it has come to, we have built this culture as a nation where we just celebrate someone being busy, and we are being overwhelmed has become like that badge of honor. And we say, I'm so busy. Or people like to say, I'm busy. As if that is something to be proud of. It is not. Okay? But chronic overload is not ambition. It is the primary highway to burnout. And burnout is a serious mental health crisis, not just tiredness. Something else is poor communication. Be it at home, be it at work, as we are. When expectations are unclear at our workplace or in our relationship, when feedback is absent, when you do not know where you stand or what is expected of you, the result is anxiety, a constant low-level anxiety, because you spend your energy worrying instead of working. You second-guess yourself all the time when a situation arises. You feel like you're falling without understanding why. You're asking everyone a question, but you have the answer. Okay. We also have job insecurity. The fear of the unknown is one of the most corrosive thing that corrosive thing for the mental wellness. When people do not know if their job is safe, whether there are rumors of restructuring, layoffs, or changes, the psychological weight of the uncertainty is enormous. Like mara sahi pesa sijui tunakatwa nini, kidogo tunakatwa, and there you are with your salary, you're like, now what will I remain with? It's not here yet, but it's something that you can, it can happen. So you're just worrying every now and then when you wake up, and especially when a company is not doing so well. Another thing is lack of recognition. As human beings, we have a fundamental need to feel seen and valued. Especially when you work hard, you give your best and nobody notices. When you pour yourself into your work and receive silence in return, it is deeply demoralizing, you know? You can feel me? And over time, it erodes motivation and self-worth in ways that are difficult to recover from. Another thing I can think of is toxic relationship at work, the bullying, the micromanagement, colleagues who undermine you, or they treat you like kids at work. Managers who belittle you in front of others, the exclusion. These are not just unprecedented, they are genuinely harmful to mental health. We spend more working hours, more waking hours at work than we do with our families. If that environment is hostile, as I have said, we spend active hours with our bosses. If that environment is hostile, the damage is real. And by the time this damage is becoming real, we have already affected our family, our children, or worse of it, most have become judgmental because they feel you love your job than you love them. So the damage become very real. And this leads me to work-life imbalance. When work invades every corner of your life, when you're answering emails at midnight, when your weekends belong to your manager, when your employer have your whole you, when you cannot remember the last time you were fully present with your family without thinking about work, the recovery become impossible because the mind never gets the rest. And without rest, it begins to break. Something else is physical environment of maybe the noise, the poor lighting, the overcrowding, the unsafe condition. This creates chronic low-grade stress that accumulate in our body over time. Physical discomfort and psychological distress are deeply linked. Trauma, grief, personal loss, the things we carry from outside of work, the death of loved one, maybe a difficult marriage, a financial crisis, illness in the family. These do not disappear when we walk through the office. We bring our whole life with us. And sometimes what we are carrying is simply too heavy to carry alone. And I'm sharing all of this not to depress you in any way, but to help you see that struggling at work does not mean you're weak. It often means you're human, carrying very real pressure in a world that does not always give us the space to acknowledge them. But here is where things get better. A real practical pillar that we can build our mental wellness on. The 5 pillars of mental wellness. These pillars are things everyone can do. Everyone can do wherever they are. They are not expensive, not complicated, and not reserved for people with perfect life. Research from around the world include the work done by the New Economy Foundation and the National Health Service has identified these 5 key areas that form the foundation of our mental wellness. I call them pillars because the pillars of a building, when they are strong, everything else stands. When they scramble, the structure becomes unstable. And the beautiful thing about these 5 pillars is that every single one of them is within your reach. You do not need any money, any cash. You do not need a therapist. You just need intention and consistency. And pillar number 1 is the connect. Human beings are not designed for isolation, right? We're not a one-man island. We are wired for connection, for belonging, for community, for being known by other people. When we withdraw, when we stay in our rooms, when we stop talking to people, our mental health deteriorates quickly. Connection does not have to be dramatic. It can be like a 5-minute conversation with a colleague over tea. It can be a phone call to a friend, right? You have not spoken maybe in 2 months or days or weeks. It can be joining a community group, a church, mosque, a sports team, a book club, whatever it looks like for you. Nurture it, protect it. Do not let business steal your relationship. When you're sick, when things go wrong, that's the time you're remembering you had friends. No, connect now, like today. Make sure you call some few people over coffee or just to say hi to them, okay? Pillar number 2 is move. Physical movement is one of the most powerful mental health interventions that exist. And it is completely free, like I mean, walk, physical movement. When you exercise, your brain releases endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, the very chemicals that regulate your mood, reduce anxiety, and improve your sleep. You do not have to join a gym because you're gonna cost money. You do not have to run a marathon. A 30-minute walk 3 times a week has been clinically proven to reduce symptoms of depression. Walk during your lunch break. Take like the stairs. Dance in your kitchen. Move your body intentionally, and your mind will thank you. Another pillar is rest. We live in a culture that worships hustle and treats rest like laziness. Man, laziness. When you sleep, you're sleeping until this hour, ni pesa uko nayo, No, our culture, it's making us look like abnormal. All right? So the pillar number 3, again, it's rest. This culture has worshipped hustle like nothing else. When you sleep, when you rest, you are called lazy. But I want to say this clearly. Rest is not a luxury. Rest is not weakness. Rest is the medicine. When you sleep, your brain literally clears out toxins. It consolidates memories and it repairs itself. When you're chronically sleep deprived, your ability to regulate your emotion or making decision or managing stress, it collapses. 7 to 9, do we say 4? Unalalanga sangapi? Munalala sangapi? Maybe minimum 4 hours. Can we try to improve? Right? Start from, if you've been sleeping 4 hours, try to sleep 5 hours, try to sleep 6 hours until your body adjusts to that level. But good sleep is not in, just sleep. I want you to rest. It is a biological necessity, let me say that. And also rest beyond sleep when doing nothing. I mean, it's not when I say rest, it's not a must to be on the bed sleeping or rotating thing. Rest. Watch sunset. Watch sunrise. Reading a novel, sitting quietly is equally important. Give your nervous system permission to slow down. Si saa zote tu unahangaika uko, yani kupace tu na pace from morning to evening. Have a rest. Another pillar is learn. The human brain thrives on growth. When we are learning something new, like a new skill, like a new language, a new subject, it creates a new neural pathways. It gives us a sense of progress, of possibility, of becoming more than we were yesterday. This is profoundly good for mental wellness. And learning does not have to be formal. It can be a YouTube tutorial, a podcast during your commute, na vile kukwa na jamingi, a new recipe maybe, a chapter of a book, a skill taught to you by your colleague or your friend. Keep the mind curious. A curious mind is a resilient mind. And our last pillar is give. And this is the final pillar. This final pillar might surprise you because it's about giving any kind of service, just contributing to something beyond yourself. Right? I know you think about money, right? But let me say this. Study after study shows that people who engage in acts of kindness and service report higher level of well-being than those who do not. When you help someone else, when you volunteer, when you mentor someone, when you simply hold a door open or listen to a struggling colleague, something happens in your own brain. You feel connected. You feel meaningful. You feel valued. You feel nice, you go home smiling. Giving is not just good for the person receiving, it is also a medicine for the person giving. So connect, move, rest, learn and give. These are not just nice ideas, they are survival tools. Now, let me give you something even more practical, something even like like something practical, because knowing what mental wellness is and knowing how we should invest in it, it's not enough. I want to give you specific tool you can use starting from today. I am going to give you 6 tools today. They are very simple. They are evidence-based, and if you use even one of them consistently, you will notice a difference in you or how you feel. And tool 1 is what we call grounding technique, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. This is a technique used by, they're called psychologists and therapists around the world to interrupt anxiety and panic in real time. It works by pulling your nervous system out of the anxious thought spiral and anchoring it back into your body and your senses. Here is how it works. Right now, wherever you are, you like kwa hiyo ofisi, wenye wako kwa ofisi today, kwa wenye walikuwa off, I want you to try this with me. I want you to name 5 things that you can see around you right now. Look around, name them silently. Okay? 5 things that you can see right now in wherever you are. Name them silently. Now, name 4 things you can physically feel. Like the weight of the chair, the weight of your fabric, cloth, the temperature of the air. 4 things you can feel, physically feel. Now, name 3 things you can hear. 3 things that you can hear. A fan, a noise outside, your own breath. Name 3. Now, name 2 things you can smell. 2 things that you can smell. Now, name 1 thing that you can taste. Name 1 thing that you can taste. That exercise usually takes less than 60 seconds. And doing this now and then, it will calm your nervous system. It shifts your brain from the part that panics to the part that observes. Okay? I say it will like shift your brain from the part that panics to the part that observes. Use this whenever anxiety spikes. Use it before a difficult meeting, during a stressful commute, during that moment that you want to make that call, at your desk when you're feeling things are overwhelming. Okay? That is tool number 1. The tool number 2 is digital detox break. Our phones and our screen are miraculous tools. I agree. And they also a relentless source of stimulation, comparison, and mental noise. Research shows that our noise, or let me say, our brain needs break from screens approximately every 90 minutes to maintain focus, to maintain reduced stress. So I want you to set a reminder on your phone for every 90 minutes to step away from your screen for 5 minutes. Look at something at a distance. Stretch, breathe. Let your eyes move and your mind rest. This sounds small, but it is not small. Okay, these micro breaks are different between a brain that sustains performance and the one that crashes by 3 o'clock every afternoon. The tool number 3 is to check the check-ins. Like, I will say, don't just check up, because there is a difference between check up on someone, which is performance review or progress report or a transactional inquiry, and checking in on them is a genuine human moment of connection, like how are you, said while already walking away. And that is not like, okay, it's like an example of checking up. How are you while you're already like walking past them, Check-in sounds like, hey, I have noticed you have seemed a bit quiet lately. Are you okay? Do you have a minute? No, that is checking in. And then the critical part is where you actually stop, where you actually listen, and you do not immediately offer a solution or advice. You simply hold a space for them. That simple act of like 2 minutes of genuine attention can be a thing that keeps a colleague from reaching a crisis point too. You know what I mean? So do this for the people around you and let others do it for you as well. Tool number 4 is microjournaling. I know some of you just heard the word journaling and immediately thought like, that is not me. I don't like writing, But hear me out, because I am not asking you to write pages and pages every day. Microjournaling is in three sentences. Yes, 3 sentences, just 3. 1, every evening before you sleep, write something. Every evening before you sleep, write something. One thing that I want you to start writing. What challenged you today? 2, one thing I am or you are genuinely grateful for, no matter how small. The 3rd thing is one thing you will do or I will do differently tomorrow. I will repeat. 1 thing, okay? 1 thing that I want you to do, the 3 sentences that I want you to write. 1 is what challenged you today, or you can say what challenged me today. The 2 is one thing that I'm genuinely grateful for, no matter how small it is or it was. 3 is one thing that you want to do differently tomorrow. That is it. 3 sentences. What this does over time is train your brain to process difficult instead of ruminating on it, to notice goodness even in hard season, and to maintain growth mindset. It grow. The research on this is powerful and consistent. Please do that every day. And tool number 5 is walk breaks, just 10 minutes. I have already mentioned exercise, the physical part. I want to be even more specific. 10 minutes during your lunch break. Outside in a natural light, away from your desk, has been shown in clinical studies to reduce cortisol level, the body's primary stress hormone, significantly. The 10 minutes, that is not a lifestyle overhaul. That is a small daily investment in your own well-being. Walk alone if you need quiet. Walk with a colleague if you need connection. But walk, just walk, right? And tool number 6 is learn to say no without guilt. This one is perhaps the most difficult and the most necessary. Many of us have been raised to be accommodating, to be available, to never disappoint anyone, especially our friends. And so we say yes to everything until we have nothing left to give to anyone, including yourself. A boundary is not a wall. It is not rudeness. It is not selfishness. A boundary is you saying, I know what I can sustain and I am protecting that capacity so that I can serve you well in the long run. Overcommitting is one of the leading causes of burnout in the modern workplace. Saying no firmly, kindly, without excessive explanation is one of the most profound acts of mental self-care. These 6 tools used consistently will change how you feel, not overnight, but over time. And the investment of a few minutes a day is worth everything. No, we have talked about what we can do for ourselves. Now let us talk about one of the most powerful things we can do for each other, being a mental health ally. Being a mental health ally does not require training. It does not require a counseling degree. It does not require you to fix everything. It requires you one thing and one thing only, the willingness to show up. Let me walk you through what that looks like and what it does not look like. What to do? Listen without judgment. We listen, we don't judge, right? And without trying to fix things. When someone opens up to you about how they are struggling, the worst thing you can do is immediately jumping into problem solving mode. Have you tried exercising? Okay, yeah. Those who know me. Maybe you should think more positively, just focus on the good thing. This response, however well intentioned, communicate, I am uncomfortable with your pain, so I am going to try to end it quietly. Sometimes, or let me say, what someone is distressed, like these stressed people or these distressed people, what do they need first before solutions, before advice, before referrals? It is to feel heard. Before you try to giving all those solutions, they want to feel heard. Okay, so sit with them, maintain eye contact, nod. Yes, I hear you. That sounds incredibly hard. That is sometimes all they need. They don't need your money or your just listen, be there, turn off your phone or put it in your pocket. Just listen to them. That is maybe most of them. That is what they usually want. Validate their feelings. Validation does not mean agreement. Okay, it means acknowledgement. That sounds really hard. Forwards, I can see why you are feeling that way. 8 words. These simple phrases communicate something profound. Your experience is real and you are not imagining it and you are not overreacting. We are often so afraid of saying the wrong thing that we say nothing, like, it's okay. Like, how will I put it? Sometimes we often afraid of saying the wrong things to our friends. But silence in the face of someone's pain communicates abandonment. Just say something, even if it is imperfect. A genuine attempt at empathy is far better than nothing. Okay? Asikupigishe story and then you just leave. Say, for example, fine, I have heard you. Let me sleep over it and see how we can help one another, or I can help you or assist you. That is also an answer. Offer consistent presence, not just crisis response. We tend to show up for people when things are dramatically bad, when there is a visible breakdown, a crisis moment, someone amekufa, amegonjeka, ndo amelazwa, and then once the storm appears to pass, we return to our normal routine. Amefiwa. Do we usually go? Yes, tutachangisha matanga, blah, blah. I know here you have group where someone died, you changa. But do you usually go back and check on them? Do you do a follow-up? Okay? Or when we have just buried their loved one, that's it. We come back to our normal life. But what people who struggle with mental health often need most is someone who stays, who checks in regularly, who does not forget. After difficult conversation with a colleague, follow up a few days later. A simple message, hey, I have been thinking about you. How are you? This is not a big ask. It's just 30 seconds and can mean the world to someone who is used to people moving on. Gently encourage professional support when need be. As a friend, if you get to a place where you cannot now advise them, what do you do? Because you care. This is what you do. There is a limit to what a friend or a colleague or a well-meaning ally can do. Someone's struggles genuinely require professional help. A therapist, a counselor, psychiatric, a doctor. Encouraging someone to seek professional support is not it's not a rejection. It is not you saying, I cannot deal with this anymore, or I cannot face you anymore. It is you saying, as a friend, that is, I care about you so much that I want you to get the best possible support. But do it gently, though. Do not push, but plant a seed and water it if necessary. Keep on reminding. Do you think I can take you to see a counselor? I can take you to see a doctor. Can we plan a day? Let it be gentle. Don't be like you're forcing them, like you're pushing them away. You're tired of their doings. Okay. So that is what you're supposed to do. What you're not supposed to do is, one, do not minimize. Others have it worse. You know the way we like saying, others have it worse. At least you have a job. Just be grateful. These statements are crushing. They do not comfort, they shame. They communicate your pain is illegitimate. Even if you mean well, these words closes door that took enormous courage to open up to this person who is suffering. Do not share again their stories. If someone trusts you with their struggle, that trust is sacred. It is not gossip material. It is not a prayer request to share with people who do not need to know. Confidentiality is not just a professional obligation. It is a moral one. Honor it always, people. Okay? Do not disappear also after they have opened up. One of the most common fear people have about sharing their struggles is, what if I become a burden? What if this person gets tired of me? When you show up for someone, stay present. As I've said earlier, do not let them experience the double pain of vulnerability followed by abandonment. You don't have to have answers always. Maybe hata wewe unasafa. You do not need to have answers. Just stay with them, work with them, be there for them. Okay? But now, one of the most important things I want to share with you today, and I say this from genuine care, is knowing when to seek professional help. Because sometimes what we are carrying is bigger than self-help, and there is absolutely no shame in that. Like when and how to seek help. There is still, like in many communities and workplaces, an enormous stigma attached to seeking mental health support. People worry that if they admit they're struggling, they will be seen weak, unstable, or incapable of doing their job. And so they wait, they suffer, they push through, they endure through their pain. And sometimes they endure until they cannot anymore. They just disappear one morning. So I want to give you a clear, honest framework for knowing when it is time to seek professional help. Not because you have failed, but because you are taking your life seriously. When feeling of sadness, anxiety, emptiness, or hopelessness persisting more than 2 weeks, one bad week is one bad week is fine, or it is life. 2 or more bad weeks in a row is your mind telling you something needs attention. Seek help when you can no longer carry out your daily task, getting out to bed, going to work, preparing food, carrying yourself, or caring for yourself or your family. When basic function becomes a struggle, this is a clinical sign that requires professional support. Seek help when you're using alcohol, drugs, or any substance to cope with your feeling, with your life, with your sleep. Seek help. Substance use, substance use that is driven by emotional pain is not a moral failing. It is a cry for help, and it deserves compassionate, professional care. I want you also to seek help when you have had thought of harming yourself, of suicide, or maybe you want to suicide. You want just to feel like cutting yourself, you know. If this is happening, please hear me very clearly. You need and deserve support right now, not later, like now. You're not broken. You're in pain, and the pain can be treated. I repeat, if you feel broken right now, you're in that part of life where you feel like harming yourself, you feel like killing, or, you know, throwing yourself over that river or over that bridge, you deserve support right now. Like, you need to call right now. You're not broken, brother. You're not broken, sister. You are in pain, and pain can be treated. I want you also to seek for help when nothing brings joy anymore. Things you used to love, the food, the music, the children, the hobbies, feels flat, empty, and meaningless. This is called anhedonia, and it is a serious symptom that responds well to treatment. I want you also to seek help when you feel completely and utterly alone, even when you are surrounded by people. Loneliness and disconnection are among the most painful human experience, and they are treatable as well. Okay, so where do you get this help that I'm talking about? Start with a trusted person. It does not have to be a professional. It can begin with a friend, a sibling, a trusted colleague, a pastor, spiritual leader, anyone who will listen without judging and help you take the next step. Another where somewhere else you can get help is our HR here, and employee wellness program. Many organizations, including here, Dove Rescue Hub, have confidential employee wellness or employees assistance program. These are specifically designed to support employees who are struggling, and what you share here with them is private. Talk to your HR department to find out what is available for you. They got numbers, they got counselors that they can send you to. They have those programs. Something else is, or somewhere else you can get this help is mental health professions, a therapist, a counselor, clinical psychologist, or a psychiatric. These are trained people who will not judge you, will not be shocked by anything you share, and who have dedicated their careers like helping people like you find their way back to wellness. We have a crisis helpline. They are called Befrienders Kenya. If you are in acute distress and need to talk to someone right now, you can call Befrienders. That's the number on the screen, 0800 723 253. This is a free call available to anyone in Kenya. You do not have to give your name. You do not have to be suicidal to call. If you are struggling and you need a voice on the other end of the line, please use this number. Another place you can get help is Dowan Human Library. Definitely that's the reason I'm here. It was called This Is Us. This is what we do. We create a space, safe space for real conversation about real struggles. We offer wellness coaching, support, and guided conversation that help people process what they are carrying and finding a way forward. You can reach us through 0788 808053 as it is on the screen, or you can email Dowan Community Service, Dowan Community Services at gmail.com. Would love to walk alongside you. And asking for help is not a weakness. Please, people, asking for help is not a weakness. It is the wisest and bravest thing a human being can do. And so, as we come to the close of our time together today, I want to leave you with one final powerful truth. We have covered a lot of ground together today, and we have talked about statistics that reveal the scale of mental health challenges in our world and in our workplace. We have defined what wellness truly means. We have named the warning signs that often go unnoticed. We have explored the stresses that wear us down quietly. We have again built the 5 pillars, remember, to stand on. We have filled our pockets with practical tools. We have learned what it means to truly show up for each other or one another, and we have faced the truth that sometimes we need more than we can give ourselves. But I want to leave you with something deeper than information. I want you to leave with a conversation. Your mind is your greatest asset, not your title, not your salary, not your office or your car or your qualification. Your mind, your ability to think, to feel, to create, to connect, to solve problems, to dream, to love people, and to persevere. All of these lives all of this lives in our mind. Okay, everything you have ever accomplished began as a thought. Everything you will ever do begins with your mental state. And yet, most of us spend time and money maintaining our cars than maintaining our minds. We service our car every few months. We fill them with good fuel. We notice immediately when something is wrong. But our minds, we run them on empty. We ignore the warning lights. We push through until something breaks. So from today, I am inviting each of you to make a commitment, not perfection, not having it all together, but to paying attention, to noticing when you are struggling, to asking for help when you need it, to checking in on the other people around you, to choosing one of these 6 tools, to talk about it, using it every week, just one. Because you matter, not just as an employee, not just a productive member of this organization. You matter as a human being. Your mental health matters. Your joys matters. Your peace matters. Your family deserves you as well as you yourself. They want you well, not just fine. Your colleagues deserve you, who is present and not absent. And you deserve the life you are capable of living when your mind is healthy, rested, and supported. Protect your mind, people. Invest in it. Talk about it, because your life depends on it. And so do the lives of people who loves you. My name is Dorcas Wankuru again. If anything I said today touched you, challenged you, or if you would like to explore wellness coaching, safe space conversation, a program partnership, please do reach out. I would be honored to walk alongside you. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your openness today. You have been a wonderful audience. Please take care of yourself and each other. Thank you, Dove Rescue Hub, for inviting me to this safety talk. Thank you.